What a day. I can't say thank you enough to Sam from Camden Meba for giving me the opportunity to hijack her page today, hence the reason for all the videos. And I figured if I was going to share all this knowledge that I may as well share it to my group as well. And I've had a comment going, geez, you're busy today. But I don't think they read the first one where it said that I was doing this today. So it's all good. We're here, and it's been an interesting day. And I've covered lots and lots of topics, just generally, mainly. But what I thought I would do now is that I might actually talk about some of the emotional aromatherapy oils and just how we can use them, and just the way that they're going to help support us, especially at the moment, because I find that they are quite helpful at the moment as well. So I've just put up the chart there, and as you can see, if you go around it, there's sort of, it's a little bit color coded, so it's kind of easy to read, but it goes around in a circle, and it talks about sort of some of your different emotions there, distress, somber, disinterested, bored, reconnecting. So it talks about quite a few of the feelings that we go through each day. And it's, like I said, it's color coded. So that is the color of the labels on the Forgive oil, for example, is green, and the Console is purple. I like the symmetry of it. I like the interest of it, and I like how it connects with a lot of emotional things that we talk about. So I've been joining in Friday night's Zoom class with Susie, who's on my team, but Susie is amazing with crystals and chakras and the oils and things. And we've just done base chakra energy. And it doesn't matter where we talk about things, everything is a cycle, and going through it once. So, going through chakra energy, for example, your base chakra is your fight and flight response. Going through that, moving up to the next one, moving up to self-acceptance, up to the heart, up to, communicating, up to connecting, all those things doesn't mean that you do it once and you're sorted and you're all balanced and you're there. What it means is that we have these energies within our body that we go back to all the time. And same with this wheel, with the emotional wheel here. We might forgive ourselves and physically, consciously go through the process of forgiveness and of consoling and finding peace and motivating ourselves to move on and go through that whole process. But that will just be one layer. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with, or it's, it's acceptable to move forward 3, go back 2. This is how the world works. And I suppose one way that I often, when I talk chakras, and I will talk about the emotional wheel, but to me they're all very connected, and it's the same process. So with chakras, for example, when we're born, we live in base chakra energy for 7 years. Okay, fight, flight, feed me, give me, I need, you've got to give me. Like, that is the behavior, the idea of childhood, and kids go through that. Once they sort of get closer to 7 and 7 to 14, they sort of move up to the next one, which kind of goes, yep, I need, but I can do that myself. And that they start a learning process, and they start new things. And then they move up to self-acceptance, to the sacral, to their orange chakra, and they begin to understand that they are connected, and that different things happen. By the time they get to 21, they're really in heart energy, and it's all about love. They love everybody, they want love, they're experimenting, they're trying all sorts of things. And it truly isn't until we get to like 30 or whatever that we really do hit crown chakra energy, where we are comfortable in our skin, where we are connected with the world, where we understand consequences and reactions, and we understand all those things. Saying that, whilst in a physical sense, we sort of travel through that in 7-year periods, within that time, we also go through other cycles where we go through the chakra energy or the emotional wheel, because you stub your toe and your first reaction is base chakra energy. It's like fight and flight. What have I done? What have I done? And then you see your toe and you look and you take a breath and you realize it's still attached, and then you move up to the next one and go, it's okay, self-care, what do I do? Okay, I need to do that. Then you move up to the heart. It's kind of like, oh, thank God my toe's okay, or thank God the doctor's been able to fix it, or whatever. But we move up through those chakras. So that can be something that can take years and years of work, or minutes, absolutely minutes, to get back to equilibrium, to feel balanced again. So with your emotional aromatherapy oils, it is the same thing. Okay, sometimes we will do things that take us years to work through. Okay, other times we'll do things and it's kind of like, as soon as we're become aware of it, we can process it and sort it and move on. So we can do it in a day or a week or a month, but there's no guarantees that we won't go back to that space. Beauty of it is when we do go back to that space, quite often we've actually learnt something from it. So whilst we have to go back to that space, what happens is we inevitably learn that we don't have to stay in that space any longer. We don't have to drag it with us for 10 years. We can deal with it. We can move it on and we can go forward. So whenever I look at the way they describe this wheel, they always describe it from the top, from the orange oil. And sort of when you look at the way they've got the emotions there, discouraged, gloom, depression. Okay, so we need motivation to get out of that. We need to then move into the cheer, where we're feeling, a little bit, the motivates the other side, anxious, insecure, apathetic, and we sort of move into the more cheer emotions, of distressed and somber. So we need that pick up, that cheer, disorientated, bored. Okay, so we need to be invigorated. We need that passion back, disconnect, angry, ashamed, and you can see how the process works as we walk around it. So I actually like to start with the green one. I kind of figure that realistically, I can't move through anything if I'm holding on to the pain of it, if I'm holding on to blame, if I'm holding on to any of those emotions that are attached to whatever it is that I'm trying to shift or move on from. So for me, it's always start with the forgive. Okay, now with these oils, you can do it consciously. Okay, say, right, I'm going to specifically today, meditate or do some mindfulness activities along the lines of this particular emotion. I'm going to use the oil, I'm going to smell it, I'm going to sit with it, I'm going to journal what I feel, I'm going to do that. I'm going to tap, whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it mindfully using the oils. And then again, tomorrow you can still do that same one. If you're still not feeling that you passed it, do it again. Do it every day for a week if you have to. And then mindfully start to move on. And you will. Like if you've been tapping or journaling, you'll find that, that you're not as angry in a week's time as you are today if you've been consciously using these oils to shift you through that. So then you move on to the console, which is your comforting blend. So it's kind of like we often get stuck in that base chakra energy. We get stuck in that forgive mindset, because whilst we don't like it, we know it. Okay, and whilst we don't like it, it's comfortable. And what happens if we move on? What happens if we let go? What happens if that no longer has a hold of us? Well, then there's, almost this void that we need to fill. But the console is an oil that steps in at that stage and kind of just gives us permission to let go and know that we're part of a process and that we will be okay. So I really like the console to come in when we're doing the mindfulness that way. Okay, once we're sort of feeling comforted and okay, we quite often then come to peace with that, peace with our decision to let go, our decision to move on, our decision to whatever, but we come to peace with it. So, the fear starts to leave us, the being worried starts to go. We're not as anxious about it because we're actually using it and moving on from it. So it's the next step in the process for me. Now, like I said, when I sort of look at a lot of the stuff around this wheel, they start at motivate and they finish at peace. Well, to me, feeling peaceful and reassured with my decision kind of leaves me hanging, because then I need to do. I need to actually do something. I need to move on. I need to find the next thing. I need to not be still dragged back to the forgive, to the anger, to the sadness. I need something else to fill that spot. So for me, the motivate is the next step after that, because that's the one that goes, okay, we've let go, we're good with that, we're reassured, we're comforted, we feel okay with that space now. So now what do I do? And so to me, the motivate is that next oil. To me, it is always the kick in the butt oil. It's like you've sat there long enough in that space. It is seriously time to shift, to move on, to do stuff. So motivate is a really good oil to use in that part of the process. Pretty much once you've sort of motivated and got stuff happening, these emotions tend to disappear a little bit. Hopefully you're not feeling as discouraged or as gloomy or as distressed, because you have made decisions, you have moved on, you've been at peace with what it was, you've accepted that, you've moved on, you're finding a new way. Motivate is the encouraging blend, so it's kind of like, come on, we can do this, let's go, let's take the next step. And then cheer steps in, and cheer is your uplifting blend, and it's like, yes, I've got this, I can do this. So cheer is beautiful. And then obviously once we sort of feel we've got it, being inspired comes naturally. So passion is our next one, to be inspired, so that we're not bored, we're not disinterested, that we actually start to engage more. If you then feel that once you've felt engaged, whatever, that there is more work to be done, for sure, go back around the wheel again, start, let go of the next thing, or let go of the bit of the journey that you hadn't actually let go of the first time. Okay, so this wheel is really quite interesting in that regard. So like I said, a bit like the chakras, it can work over a period of time, or it can be something that you do on a shorter term. So, a week with each oil, a week or two with each oil, and journaling and being grateful and, just getting it out of your system is a really good way to do it. But if you wake up tomorrow and, you feel real slumped and it's kind of like, oh, do I have to? Just get the motivate, get the kick in the butt and get on with it. So, you don't have to do it around the wheel in a process, but a process is a great way to shift long-term emotions that are attached to things that we don't need them attached any longer. There are things, there'll be moments where you will go straight back into that space, but every time you go back to that space, you'll be on the next layer of the onion. You'll find that, okay, yeah, well, it's still horrible, it still happened, I'm still thinking it, whatever, but you're not as entrenched as you were last time. You're actually starting to move on from it. And so the process will become easier every time that you do it. Okay, now I do have some other ideas here about the oils. Now I just have to get rid of that one and bring up the next screen. Like, how clever am I getting? Oh, not that one. No, this one. This is the one I want. Okay. Sorry. Okay. That is that one. Okay. So this is just a sheet that I found ages ago, and it is 20 different ways to use the emotional aromatherapy blends, because you can use them as a part of a healing process, or you can just use them intuitively each day. There are 6 of them. Just have them there and pick one. Either look and pick with your logic brain, or just pick them intuitively and use it. But this sheet gives you a few ideas of ways to use it logically, like with the logic part of your brain. Diffuse, motivate in the morning to promote feelings of motivation and energy for the day ahead. Okay, add 3 drops to diffuser jewelry and smell it throughout the day for encouragement and confidence, especially things like public speaking. Now, if you're going to put it onto your diffuser jewelry, if you've got lava bead bracelets or lava beads on your necklace, my advice is, there's always a handy tip somewhere. Put a drop on your hand, either the roller one or a drop of the oil, and then roll your beads into your hand. And that way you're not getting a lot of it onto your beads, as in like drops. You can't put a drop of oil on every bead. So if you've got a bracelet, you've got quite a few beads there. So if you put the drop on your hand and roll your bracelet through it, you're going to get the smell right through your bracelet, as opposed to trying to drop it on the entire bracelet and pretty much wasting oil and having oil then sit on your arm. Put it on your hand and roll it is a great way to do it. There you go. Use motivate on your pulse points when feeling doubtful or pessimistic. So if you know you've got something happening today and you're a bit nervous, then give it the motivate, give it the kick in the butt and get on with it. Okay, peace in your child's bedroom will help promote peaceful sleep. You can add peace to a roller bottle and top it with fractionated coconut oil and place it on the pulse points and the bottom of the feet. Okay, that helps with fear, anxiety, and also if they're overexcited. So it's a great way to calm them down. Okay, add 15 drops of peace to a personal inhaler and use it throughout the day for feelings of peace. Okay, or 1 drop on your hand. I like the drop on the hand. Inhalers are good. They're plastic and they're on a thing. So if the kids drop them, they are a great way to use them. Okay, diffuse passion upon waking to energize and provide feelings of enthusiasm. Okay, partner, oh, there you go. When you need some spark, it's a good one to use passion. When you're hurt by somebody and you're holding on to the feelings of resentment and anger, that's when we use forgive. And you can use it over the heart and also on the bottom of the feet. So it's a good one. Probably don't do it on the side of the neck or on your arms, because it has bergamot in it. So it's a bit photosensitive. We don't want to get funny sun marks from it. Okay, we can also use forgive if we've been feeling a bit critical and judgmental about ourselves or someone else. Okay, if we're harboring feelings of guilt that you can't move forward in life, apply forgive to the bottom of your feet and inhale it regularly during the day. So the forgive, again, for me, is that one. It's the first one. It's the one that you go to first if you're not feeling good about something. It's the one to help you let go. When you're feeling sad and lost, then console over the heart and the pulse points is beautiful. And you can actually use that one during times of loss and to help bring comfort. Now, if you're feeling anxious, unsettled, or restless, you can use console in an inhaler and use it. Or again, just put it in the diffuser and have it in your space. And it's a beautiful one. Diffuse cheer first thing in the morning to promote positive and uplifting environment. When you're feeling blue or just not yourself, place cheer. Use that in a roller or in an inhaler in the diffuser. Use your cheer. When lacking determination and faith in yourself, dilute cheer and dab onto your pulse points. So here. Okay, when feeling heavy-hearted and burdened with worries, place diluted cheer over the heart and the bottom of the feet. And the last one, when wanting a burst of cheer, joy, or happiness, put it in your diffuser jewelry or on your bracelet and it's a great one. It's the beautiful yellow one. I do like the cheer. Okay. Now, I did have some other information here for you as well whilst we're on this subject. So let me get back to where I can share my screen, and I will bring the other information up for you. Okay, there is a handout that I will attach once I work out how. So I've been doing a few different talks today, and quite a few of them have had a handout. So I will put the handouts, attach the handouts to the appropriate talks when I get it. I will try and get that done tonight. Okay, but here is the handout that I'm going to give you, and it talks just about the essential oils for your emotions again. So it sort of covers pretty much some of the stuff that we said. Probably the only thing to be aware of is that it has used the generic names for the oils. So it talks about there the uplifting essential oil of citrus and spice. Okay, the uplifting one is cheer, so that's the yellow one. Okay, sunshiny, fresh, optimistic. It's a beautiful oil. The renewing blend, the renewing one is forgive. Okay, so that's the green one. Okay, that's the one that if you're carrying a burden or you just need to let it go. That's your forgive. Apply to your pulse points throughout the day to feel grounded and content, and diffuse it when meditating to help release harboring feelings of anger and guilt. So it's a beautiful one. And again, I like that bottom one. It kind of ties in with what I'd spoken about before. It says here, have this on hand throughout the day to counteract negative emotions that may arise, because that's how days work. You will start to move through it and you'll be feeling good and you might be feeling motivated and whatever, and then something will trigger and you're back feeling that. So keep the forgive on hand to negate that negative emotion so that you can get back to what you were doing and feeling better. Okay, the inspiring blend is your passion. Okay, so yeah, don't jump out of an aeroplane today, but it is a beautiful oil. Try different things. It's the inspiring one. Try something new. For me, it's it's the one that obviously, if it didn't work the old way, the inspiring blend or passion is the one that sort of gives you permission to try it a different way, to try something new, to just approach it a different way so that you can, change the way that you feel about it, the emotion attached to it. Your encouraging blend is your motivate, and so it helps with feelings of confidence, courage, belief, counteracts negative emotions again, pessimism, cynicism. So it's a good one to use when you're sort of at school working on a project. Good for confidence if you're giving a speech, doing something like this. Again, apply it to pulse points and things. Then you've got your reassuring blend, which is the peace, the blue one. Okay, and it is floral and mint, so it's an interesting one, but it's a reminder that you don't have to be perfect to find peace. Okay, slow down, take a breath, reconnect in a composed, collected way, and then we can start to move on to the next one. The comforting blend is console. Okay, console is the purple one. So diffuse during times of loss to comfort the soul and evoke feelings of hope. Apply it over the heart morning and night as a reminder to be patient with healing and to not give way to despairing thoughts. So it is early in the process when you are moving on or letting go. Then the comforting one is the second one. So there's forgive and then console. So that's why. Okay, it's the one that gives you as a reminder, be patient. It will take time, but you will get there. Okay, the grounding blend. Then, well, on this sheet, it talks about the grounding blend. Now, the grounding blend is the balance oil that's in the mood management kit, or comes singularly. But the grounding oil, it talks here about that it's used to bring harmony to the mind and body. And you can begin your day by putting it on the bottom of your feet to promote feelings of calmness and tranquility. It's a great oil to use during hand massage. Apply it to your wrists and neck to help anxious feelings. and diffuse it in your car, okay, for calming, soothing environment. I love it in my house. I use the grounding blend a lot, the balance blend, and I often use it with a citrus oil. So I love that it does all that, but I like the drop of citrus in with it for its joyful effect, for its uplifting effect, for its anti depressant type effect that it gives me. So the next oil is a citrus one, and it's great, and you can use that one. They're a beautiful combination, or any of your citrus oils. So my favorite is the grounding blend or the balance blend with tangerine. I just love it. I don't know why I put them together in the first place, but I love it, and that is one of the go-to blends in my house. But the invigorating blend here, that's your citrus bliss, okay? And it has great cleansing properties. You can use it for wiping down countertops and stuff. But it reduces stress and uplifts the mood. And that's the one, like I actually have the citrus bliss in my car. That's the one that I use in the diffuser in my car, or even just a drop on the seat. Or if I just need it quickly, I put a drop on my hand and breathe it in. So I love that one. Speaking emotions, there is, for us ladies, there is a particular time each month that we do tend to get a little bit more emotional than normal. So they've actually included the Clary Calm on this sheet. So it is a beautiful, just hormone balancing, calms the mind, brilliant oil to use for the mood swings and things like that. Over in this green bit here, it talks about the joyful blend. The joyful blend is elevation, and it's a beautiful oil. That's the one that I use in my treatment room when I'm allowed to massage. I use the joyful blend in the diffuser because I just love that smell when you walk in, and you feel elevated when you finish. And if you're going to come for a massage, you don't want to feel depressed afterwards. You want to feel joyful. So I love it. It's a beautiful oil, so I do like that one. Okay, that is the emotional aromatherapy for you. There is an ebook, and I will actually, if you go to my website, if you go to theoilhut.com and scroll down, you'll find the link to the emotional aromatherapy ebook. So jump on and download that, because there's quite a lot more information in that one. Now, the emotional aromatherapy oils, they do come as one of those starter kits. So you can actually start your collection with those 6 oils and a diffuser. If you've got any questions, contact me. You know where to find me, and pop it in. If you've got any questions about the particular subjects, pop it into the comments of today's talk, and I will make sure that I find an answer for you if I don't know the answer. Okay, I did mention a big thank you to Sam for giving me this opportunity, and I've got training at 8 o'clock tonight, so it's been a non-stop day for me, but I will pop on at 7:30 and do one more little chat. So if there is anything in particular that you want, throw it throw it at me now. You've got half an hour before I come back on and finish for the day. Thank you.